Hey there guys, this is Healthy Claudius, and I've been playing Insurgency since its official launch in January 22nd, 2014. My goal is to provide you tips that will cover a variety of techniques for Insurgency so that you have the tools to become a skilled player. First, I want to make sure that I cover what the game is. Then, I will discuss about the most popular player versus player game modes. And at the end of this message, I will discuss techniques that you can apply as you practice playing Insurgency. First, I want to take a moment to discuss Insurgency. This game is exclusively played on the PC. It is a highly competitive multiplayer combat game. Insurgency is similar to another World War II shooter, Red Rush 2. However, Insurgency is a realistic first-person shooter game that takes place in a modern warfare setting of Iraq, Afghanistan, and Somalia. Additionally, Insurgency is designed to be played in either cooperative game mode or player versus player mode. This game is based on a Half-Life 2 mod, Insurgency Modern Combat, that received the Best Mod of the Year in 2007. For this video, I will only be talking about the player versus player mode. Currently, I will not be publishing any tutorials for the cooperative game mode. If you are interested in that, you won't find it here. When you start the game for the first time, stop and take a moment to explore how the game is set up. This game is not Call of Duty. This means Insurgency does not allow you to access perks that passively affect the gameplay. Additionally, the game does not allow you to regenerate a player's health or earn kill streaks rewards after a player acquires a certain number of kills in a row without dying. Weapon attachments are also different in Insurgency. Most of the weapon attachments does not improve the weapon's stats, such as accuracy, recoil, etc. Instead, attachments change how the gun feels and how it looks. For example, a long-range scope attachment or any kind of scope does not improve your accuracy. It only makes you be the better aimer. An underhand grip will only reduce around 30% of the recoil, but it doesn't stop the weapon from suffering the recoil. Another thing to know is when you access your inventory, accessing your inventory at the start of every round of play is critical because this is the only time you have the ability to choose your weapons, attachments, and gear. But accessing inventory comes at a cost. These costs include supply points and weight. Supply points are the important fundamental element that comes to play in the game's economy. Supply points are a type of fiat, or money. To enhance your gear, you have to spend supply points. Some gear, such as an RPG, can cost 6 supply points. However, you can also acquire some gear for free. Some gear may include a light armor for securities, an AKM for insurgents, and tracer rounds. Each team has their own inventory load they can access. Each team member can gain access to specific gear based on their role in the team. Each player has up to 10 supply points to spend on their gear, regardless of what game mode you play and which side you are on. In some game modes, supply points can be rewarded based on the outcome of the match, such as a victory or defeat. Supply points can also be awarded for completing specific objectives. But for most game modes, such as Firefight, all players start at the default of 10 supply points, but they will not get any additional supply points. The ability to spend and earn supply points is important to the strategy of the game. For this reason, it is important to know how to manage supply points in the specific mode you are playing. Another important element to manage is weight. Managing your weight is important because the weight of the supplies can impact on how fast or slow the player moves. If you carry less gear, the player can move quicker. If he carries more gear, the player can move slower. It's important to carefully manage your inventory based on your playstyle. Without it, you won't be able to perform well in the field. A good development of a plan and strategy for your inventory loadout is all you need to master Insurgency. Okay, you won't be getting any team deathmatch in most public servers, so which game mode should you check out? You have two options to play this game. against in a public player versus player server, or play this game against bots. If you want to practice playing this game against bots, simply go to a training room and select Practice Against Bots. Alternatively, you can use the source commands by pressing the squiggly sign before you move on. I also suggest you to enable the cheats by typing in svcheats1. Then type map beneficiary. You can also choose a game mode you want to play along with a map of your choice. For example, I would type map beneficiary firefight. This allows you to play a specific map set in firefight. If you don't want any of the bots, and let's say you want to practice in your own playground, I would type in insurgents_bot_quota 0. This will remove all bots from the game. Now you have your own playground where you can practice memorizing, fundamentally study the map, strategies, spots, and pretty much anything your heart desires. There are lots of things you can do in the command console. I plan on taking a deeper look into the source command console in future videos. Oh, and when you're done with your practice, make sure you disable the SV cheats by setting it to 0. Now, with the command console introduction is complete, let's move on to the game modes. To gain access to the game modes, click on a community server and type push, firefight, or skirmish. Multiple servers will be displayed. Just choose whatever server you want to play on. The best and most popular game mode is push. This game mode is similar to the game mode Territory in Red Orchestra 2. In this mode, respawn occurs within a wave. A player who is only dead can only respawn per wave. Each side, either as a security or insurgents, have their own attackers or defender waves. The attackers start out their waves at 5, while the defenders start out with 15. The attackers has 5 minutes to go into the field and take at least 1 cap point. For every cap point successfully captured, the attackers are rewarded 5 waves. The goal for the attacker is to capture all 3 capping points and destroy the enemy catch. Also, the defense needs to defend their cap point and the catch. If all 3 cap points are taken from the attackers, the defending team loses all their own waves. The defenders would need to make their last attempt to defend their catch. You only get 1 life to make the last stand against the attackers. The next game mode is skirmish. It is like firefight, but this game mode involves team managing waves and defending their own catch. Your goal is to take control of all 3 cap points at Bravo, Charlie, and Delta, and destroy either Alpha or Echo. If any of the team's weapon crates are destroyed, the team's reinforcements will be reduced and the team will no longer be rewarded with any additional reinforcements. Teams will only receive 1 wave by taking control of a cap point and successfully defending their catch from the enemy. If the enemy catch is destroyed, your team will be respawned instantly. If both teams have 0 waves, this mode turns into a mode similar to firefight. This is useful for beginners who have never played firefight before. Make sure you have explosives or Molotov if you're planning to destroy enemy crate. The last but most popular game mode for competitive mode is firefight. Firefight is a game mode where your goal is to go out there in the field and take control of Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie, and eliminate the opposing team. Like Counter-Strike, you only get to live once. Once you're eliminated, you will be sitting out until your teammates take control of 1 capping point. After that happens, you will respawn. I actually love playing this game mode because it is so challenging and requires teamwork. Without teamwork, your team will lose in competitive mode. You have the choice to either go out there, take down other players by surprise, or you can go for the cap points. When starting the game for the first time, you should get a good HUD on where Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie are located, your single fire, burst, or full auto fire, the timer right below the screen, and the HUD of your magazine remaining for your firearm. There are no crosshairs that you can use to aim your weapon. All weapons move around independently from your model when moving with your mouse. The only real way to aim is to use your sights or by looking through a scope. When starting a new game from scratch, Ignore all statistics, such as kill and death ratio. Try to remove the concept of the hacking and assume that every player is legit. If you accuse someone for hacking, you are making excuses to yourself. The game may be at fault at times, but you have to focus on learning your mistakes in the game and improve your skills. When choosing an attachment for your weapon, focus on choosing only AP rounds when it comes to public match. Do your best to eliminate any hostile that gets in your way while you are in the field. If you miss a shot or get exposed in an open space, assume that you will be killed, because this will be the case when you play against professional players in competitive firefight. Watch out for corners is another thing you should focus on. Every time you go in a building, remember that most players use corners as a hiding position, so they can flank other hostiles coming from the side. You can counter this strategy by simply throwing a grenade or a flashbang towards the corners in the room. Based on your game sense, you can also prefer at an enemy known location so that you can shot them before they shoot you. Let me tell you something about myself. When I started playing Insurgency, I played terrible. I am not joking. I played awful and I was killed numerous times. After a few months, there was a moment that I decided I would jump into a community public match. I died numerous times and ended up as the last player at the end of the match. This was embarrassing. After that match, I thought to myself, okay, why bother waste my time playing a public match? I should do my own practice runs all by myself. That was when I decided to spend most of my time in my offline servers practicing in various maps. I spend most of my time studying the map design and watching other people play. I learned strategies such as how to cross a hallway, how to take control of Charlie, and so on. It took over a year, but I started to get kills because I execute my strategies plans carefully. It was at this point that I started to lead first in the team scoreboard. I got the sense that I became one of the finest players in Insurgency. My best advice for new players like you is to go out there in the game and start over from scratch and practice. If you stop practicing, you can lose everything you have accomplished so far in your play and you will have to start over again. It's as if you used to exercise for about a month in the gym, but then all of a sudden, you started to stop exercising for a week or longer. You'll have to start building up your endurance all over again when you return to the gym. This is a game where you can only succeed if you continue to practice at a daily basis. If you are not sure where to start, I would recommend you to watch a competitive match for Insurgency from the DGL on Twitch. You can get a good look on what's going on in spectator mode. Pay attention to what the professional players actually do and the strategies they utilize out in the field. You can learn some interesting strats that you can perform in the field. Your goal is to pay attention to what other players do in the field. Ask yourself questions like, what did he do wrong? What did he mess up? And what's going on in the game? Try to pay attention to what the caster is saying during the game. The catch here is the caster is going to make mistakes. You can't simply ignore the shoutcaster, but you have to listen. Keep in mind that the shoutcaster can't broadcast every detail of the game, but he will do his best to describe what's going on in the game. I hope you guys got a sense of what the game is about. I hope this video gives you an idea on where you should go for beginners. Remember to make sure you go in a player versus player environment by playing online or offline. I will now leave you these words of wisdom for Insurgency. Firefight is like chess. If one player is eliminated, other players will need to take out the opposing team while other teams need to secure at least one cap point. Lose too many players, this will result in a desperate clutch or a defeat. Not everyone is going to have enough time. You need to go out there and take control of one cap point or GTFO. Thank you very much for tuning in my videos. This is Salty Claudius, and I'm signing out. Take care.